Jeez, who's directing this show here?
I have no idea. It's an elderly gentleman with white hair. That's all I know. This is fantastic. I thought this said tattoos.
Oh.
But it doesn't.
You came running down.
We're seeing some stuff right now. This is something from some of the shows we've done. It's Talk of the Town.
Is that no?
No, that's not. Jeff does a. We do pep talk together. Dawes Butler. These were some of the people over the last 20 years that we've had an opportunity to talk with. And every one of them have been wonderful, and they, Ron Petke and myself and Randy and a lot of different folks met these people down here, and there's Vicki, who is a Belmont Shore lady. Yeah. Shelley Berman came down, and we've had a chance to really meet some of the greats of Hollywood, because we're fans of theirs. And that's the guy that draws Garfield. And that's Mo from Curly, the Three Stooges.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be at KNX Radio. He was a fun guy. Now I'm going to be talking as if we're watching an album. And here's my Uncle Harry. This is Joe Besser, who was Johnny Dark, opening comedian for Wally.
I'm sorry to say I don't know any of these people.
Well, you're
to be honest.
The one guy that was up there was Wally George, who we went over and met him at the studio. Wally George, Daphne du Maurier, is that right? Daphne du Maurier's father. And he was also the campaign, what? Rebecca de Mornay. Okay. Rebecca de Mornay. And he was campaign manager for a couple of people in the politics and whatever. And I asked him on an interview, I said, what do you do if you don't have a very good guest? And he looked at me and he said, there is no such thing as a bad guest.
Well.
And that's when I learned, okay, then you're going to have to take somebody, whatever they do or say, and make them become interesting.
Okay, so...
Which is a very difficult job for you.
Yeah, and that's why you're here.
Oh, yeah, right.
Locally famous.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
right.
assume that everybody knows. This John Craig has a show on Channel 3 as well. There is money. None for you.
No. No, this is fun, because you're doing a wonderful job. You're getting a chance to bring some of the people on, that Long Beach people, and it really is and not an easy job to do.
No, it's not, and that's why I wanted us to talk. So what makes a good interviewer?
Very good director and producer.
Okay. So.
Actually, it's not so much an interviewer as it is talking to people. Look them in the eye and ask them questions that you hope those people out there would like to ask, especially that guy where the cocoa beads. But that's all you have to do. Just ask questions that you feel the people watching the show might want to ask. And you go from there. And the key is that you have 2 of these and only 1 of those. You do a lot of listening, and that's what makes a difference.
Yeah, they keep telling me that.
Oh, no, you're doing fine. You're doing fine.
And
I have fishnet stockings. I don't look as good as you do.
Thank you very much. So have you ever had a bad interview? I mean...
Yes, and in fact, we took the body out last Thursday. We had dumped him into some cement and so forth. No, really not, because the people that spend their time to come down here, whether it's a celebrity, local people, doesn't matter. They took their time to come down, and there has to be something. I know my former boss, Barry Moore, interviewed Fats Domino. And he couldn't get Fats Domino to say anything but yes, no, whatever, but he noticed Fats had a lot of jewelry. And he started talking about the jewelry. And all of a sudden, he opened up. So there's always something that somebody wants to talk about. It's just a question of finding the way there.
Okay. Well, here's a question I got for you that I'm sure a lot of people want to know the answer to. When did you first know you were so funny? I mean, really, you know, do you remember telling a first
My
joke?
ex-wife used to laugh at everything I said or did. That's why we didn't have any children. Oh.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down. Oh, I get it.
No,
I get
it. You want to bring Grace back out here? There's nothing in here either, is there?
No, we drank it all.
No,
oh my
I never did. I never did. And we did a lot of stuff in school. I grew up in the East Coast, like Charles did, And back then, there was a lot of humor on radio. And I grew up in a time when you listened to the radio. And then I noticed that people would laugh. And I kept thinking, well, if they're laughing at him, I want them to laugh at me, so I'll try to do something so I can make counterfeit money. So what I did.
Oh, I see. And at the end of your show,
yes,
you Talk of the Town, you say a quote.
Oh, you can't fail if you keep trying.
Where did that come from?
It came from a couple of people that I knew that were always trying to better themselves and always trying to get ahead and didn't want to see themselves drop into a morass or whatever. Such a good word, morass.
Morass.
You can
Never
use
heard
it. But it's something I heard them say, and it made a lot of sense that you're never failing if you're continuing to try. And so I decided to do that. It beat my other one, which was take two and hit the right. Nobody knew what that meant. Not a soul knew that.
I'm lost. So, so who is your, like, do you have a role model or, you know, a
Pillsbury.
The Doughboy.
That's a role.
That should be Charles Peters.
No, that's a role model, I guess. No, I get a kick out of anybody that does what you're doing, that tries, that goes up in front of people, and you got to have a special, I guess, a feeling for them or empathy for anybody that does that. Comedians I like, role models. My dad, who passed away 2 years ago, I enjoyed being around him because he was a very good audience and a very good critic.
I see.
And I think when you put those two together and make him your dad, then that makes it a little more fun.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you like most about Long Beach? Like, if you do,
I came here in 1980, and I've watched it change and grow, and I like Tom Hennessy, and Hennessy and I had a good time together.
Yes.
And we had a good time. Met Ron Petke, Paul Berg, and a lot of people here in the city, and Ray Grabinski, and it just went on, and even Ernie Kell and I get along. So we've had, and George Economides, who is the editor and publisher of the Long Beach Business Journal. I get along with all these wonderful folks.
Me too.
And even him.
And even